Hello, Bike With Me 20, Anderson's Gardens. Hello, I have been away for a while due to the very wet weather. We've had several cyclones in our area and I haven't been able to get out. I'd like to announce that I'm going to start a new series of Dear John letters where I get rid of something, so look out for that. The gardens aren't that far away from home and you can see it's very grey and overcast. In the last day we've had 100 mils of rain and there's been quite a few, although a little bit below the average of about 400 mils we get per month here. So we're still catching up, but up north it's been flooding, banana crops have been flattened, the sugarcane farms are having a very rough time. So it isn't the best sort of weather to be out sort of too much, especially for somebody like me. So I have to sort of pick and choose when I go out. Also, it's very hot. You know, you get those high humidities and our temperatures are, 30 plus or around that, and it starts to feel really quite uncomfortable. Anyway, we're coming up to the gardens now and you can see how close it was to home. And remember, I'm right in the middle of the city and I'm coming through a side entrance here where they have little bits of public art, and I found this rather odd one here, and it's a dung beetle and it's made out of recycled materials, water sprinklers, which I thought was rather interesting. So I'm coming up to the opening where the official sort of banner for it. Regardless of the size of these gardens and the fact that they were established in 1929, they're not overly used by the public. There are several big gardens around Townsville. There are 3 big botanical gardens, and this one is the least used. It reminds me very much of a Victorian garden. You sort of have avenues of trees and big trees planted, and then big wide spaces of grass. So 26 hectares, and basically the gardens have failed to gain that significant appreciation by the community of Townsville. But the park is extensive. It has very interesting topography and tree massings, but it doesn't have a sort of an overall theme, so you have to sort of really put your effort into walking. And there are these little side tracks that go off everywhere and you can go into, so we've got the bamboo gardens here, and bamboo is nice to look at, but you don't want to plant in your own yard. But it gives you a chance to see something which I really like, and I've had to get off the bike and walk over it. And that's a huge lotus pond, and lotus flowers grow very well here. They were probably introduced by native peoples right back a couple of hundred years ago, so they've been here a very long time. Now you can see lots of exotic sort of palm trees all around here, and those orange banners to sort of say to you that something's fallen over and the council's got to pick it up. These are cycads, which I keep away from because I'm a bit allergic to the pollen in them. A lot of people are. And as you can see what I mean by the avenues of trees and the like. Now this is a fruit growing area, so an experimental place of exotic fruits, and you can get all sorts of weird and wonderful things which yes, you can see them sometimes in the supermarket and you wonder where they come from. So you can see it's quite an extensive garden, and it's what we call dry tropical, so it doesn't get a lot of water. And I did see it a couple of years ago during the worst drought, and it was very yellow and looked pretty awful. There is a greenhouse, but it's very seldom open, and you can see very few people around. I mean, we don't have the restrictions of COVID that a lot of places have, but people just don't use it. That's an old age home over the road there, which is a very controversial issue in Australia at the moment. There's been a lot of criticism of aged care here, and billions of dollars are going to have to be spent upon fixing it up. So this is the track home, and I'd just like to again thank everyone for waiting for me. I'll be uploading more regularly now that some of the worst of the hot weather is over and I'm feeling a little bit better. I took a reaction to my chemotherapy, and it can be a bit debilitating at times. So because it's still very wet and I'll have to wait until it sort of dries out, I'll make the next Bike with Me 21 very much more a very tropical Belgian gardens. So thank you for viewing. Please like, comment and share.